Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie, and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. So we discussed today's energy last week in the last video, so we'll briefly touch on it. We have Chiron is going to sextile Jupiter today, while Jupiter is squaring the nodes of fate. And in addition to that, we have Mercury, which is in the sign of Taurus, is going to square Mars and Leo. And this energy, if combined, there's some crossroads here, belief system issues, but we've also got choices and fated outcomes dependent on how we handle this energy. With Mercury squaring Mars, just be mindful of your words and also any stubbornness that you may have relative or fixation on a particular subject. You could do something or say something that you regret or that you wish you had not, we'll say, that came from a place of ego. Then let's zoom forward to Tuesday of this week, where the Sun in Taurus will sextile Saturn in Pisces. Both of the Sun and Saturn are at anaretic degrees of the sign that they're in. So this is opportunity laden. This week is basically, once we can get the crunchiness of today behind us, we've got just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity this week. So be open. A lot of sextiles. Do something to get something. With this energy, the Sun and Saturn at anaretic degree, these are opportunities that are presenting where we have trusted the process and we've taken practical steps. With Saturn at the end of Pisces, we know that we have trusted the process. We've been asked to trust the process. We've been asked to shed ourselves of any escapism or use escapism not for a means of, more for creativity than avoidance. So we've come through those lessons and now we're beginning to get opportunities because of the actions that we took and the responsibilities that we have assumed during that period of time. In addition, on Tuesday, the Sun is going to jump into Gemini, which I love this energy. Gemini energy is very conversational. If you know a Gemini, they're gifted writers. They're very creative speakers. Dear friend of mine, and happy birthday in a couple weeks, girl, is a writer, amazing writer. And I could listen to her all day long speak because she's just amazing. The Gemini energy is very curious. It does because it's the twins. We have choices involved here, and that's for sure. So there could be diverse perspectives that you're going to be dealing with too. But anyway, the Sun is going to enter Gemini. Then on Thursday of this week, I love this. The cosmic lovers are going to have a combo after their retrograde season. So we've got Venus, which is in Aries, Mars, which is in Leo. They both have had extensive retrograde seasons, and Mars started last October. They're both now out of shadow, direct, in motion, and they're vibing. This is a trine. We don't have to do anything to get anything. This is just going to be a vibe of the day and around this day. It's great for relationships. Brand new cycles are beginning based on the retrogrades, based on the lessons that we learned during the retrograde cycles. And we are beginning to see some things come together even that may have been paused, an action that was paused, or a relationship that we put on ice for some purpose, maybe starting to pick up speed again. So I really like this energy. Also on Thursday of this week, we've got the Sun, which is now in Gemini, is going to sextile Neptune. Very new energy for us because Neptune has not, in our life cycle, Neptune has not been in Aries to have a pleasant a sextile, do something to get something, a conversation with the Sun. And we talked about the Gemini energy being very curious, being very conversational, very creative, and it's sextile Neptune in Aries. So, personal creativity meets curiosity in inspired communications And it may even present some learning opportunities. Gemini are really good at learning various things. And Gemini energy is also, can be scattered to a certain degree because they know a lot, they know a little about a lot of things. That's what makes them such good conversationalists. So when you add Neptune to this, man, this has this great creative vibe to it that I really, really dig. Then on Friday of this week, we're going to have Mercury, which is going to sextile the north node and trine the south node. This now brings fate, and Mercury's in Taurus. So this is going to bring fate. Fated situations are going to bring opportunities. Again, it's a sextile. Do something to get something. Here comes some more opportunities to shore up some tangible prosperity. I love when the nodes of fate are involved here because it's helping us get where we need to go, helping us realize something. So because Mercury is in Taurus, this has a lot to do with tangible prosperity, grounding, that sort of thing. Then on Saturday, we will have Saturn is going to enter Aries. This is a big day. This is a big deal. Saturn in the sign of Aries, I had a channel come through on this. Well, first of all, let me just say, Saturn's going to be in Aries, not for the long haul. Saturn's going to go retrograde mid-July and then leave Aries and go back into Pisces on September 1st. So this is kind of a snapshot in time to what we can expect when Saturn fully goes into Aries next February. Nonetheless, the object here, or the subject of Saturn in Aries, is all about essence and free will, responsibility, and empowerment. And I received a channeling not long ago about this specifically, and it absolutely blew my mind. We'll talk more about this as the days and as Saturn in Aries starts making some connections with other planets. But I like Saturn in Aries because Aries energy is that spark. It just wants to go. And Saturn is kind of like the governor here. So just a little highlight. I just don't want to get too wordy. But Aries is our true essence. And Saturn wants us to take ownership. And because we know that we have free will on this planet, we have free will. Our divine consciousness is connected, and we do have guides and other spirit beings that wish to help us, but our free will dictates the outcome. So you can set an intention, back to that Saturn triad, you can set an intention with the highest degree of expectancy, and then have some programming, I'll say, that undermines that intention, that does not allow that intention to fully blossom because we're thwarting ourselves, and probably from an unconscious standpoint, but it's our essence that has been shrouded by some level of conditioning. And Saturn is here to expose the things that we need to shed that allow our essence to be pure, so that when we set intentions, that our pure essence can then shine, and we don't thwart the effort with these secondary notions, thought processes, things that we do on a regular basis that might thwart our best efforts. And we'll dive more into this as time goes on. Also, on that same day, which is Saturday, we are going to have the Sun, which is in Gemini, is going to trine Pluto, which is retrograde. Even though Pluto is retrograde, this is, meaning it's going to be an internal process. I really enjoy this energy. It's a trine. We don't have to do something to get something, so it's energy that's available to us that will be surrounding us. It's great for focus and precision, just precision. This is Gemini energy working with Pluto. Precision relative to communications, ideas. It can be very innovative. So if you've got some things you need to check off your to-do list relative to those concepts, communication, precision, innovation, that's your day for it. That would be Saturday. Also on Saturday, Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Everything that we thought we knew about prosperity or something that grounded us may shift because of some surprising information that comes in. Because it's Mercury and we're talking Uranus here. So messages or communications may really make something that a foundational principle or a thought of prosperity, because Taurus is all about money, but tangible objects, something may shift there that kind of really makes this cattywampus. It's going to be an interesting day. Might be some surprising news for sure. Then on Sunday, a week from today, Mercury is going to enter its home sign of Gemini. And Mercury loves Gemini because that's where he, one of the signs of his rulership, the other one is Virgo, but Mercury really likes Gemini. So expect to be able for conversations to flow easily. Your ideas, again, the flow will be very, very simple, chatty, upbeat, party-like atmosphere. There's not a Gemini I know that doesn't like to have a good time, that's for sure. And then as soon or shortly thereafter, I mean, not that long thereafter, that same day, Mercury is going to sextile Saturn, which is, again, the concept that we just talked about, because Saturn is now in Aries. So Saturn is going to kind of slow Mercury down a little bit, going to slow that high vibe and high frequency, very precise conversations and whatnot. And Saturn's just going to slow it down so you can really capitalize on what's being presented. You can listen, you can slow it down, you can appreciate it, and you are integrating awareness into communications to really absorb it all. And this could be another day where there's some inspiration and innovation coming your way. Well, that's all I have for you this week. Then a week from tomorrow, we'll have a new moon in Gemini. Super excited about that. Ruled by Mercury. And Mercury's involved in a yod, but also having a trine with Pluto. So we've got some outer planets doing performing some magic. I decided, because Saturn is changing signs, and that's a big deal, I decided to use the Field Tarot deck by Hannah Elizabeth Fofana. And the card that jumped out, I was a little surprised at this, is the King of Cups. Typically this is a Cancer card, but I don't really see any Cancer this week. But let's see what the book has to say. It does have the word control, which has something to do with Saturn. Anyway, King of Cups, control. The King of Cups has mastered his emotions and uses this control to navigate calmly through the storm. He is protective of others, creates firm and fair boundaries, and gives valuable advice. The wise role may be filled by you yourself or by a coach or mentor in your life. Our keywords here: balanced emotions, rational thinking, maturity, fatherly energy, and stability. Well, that's all I have for you this week. If you like this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button. And if you have any comments or suggestions, post them in the comment box below. You know I always like to hear from you. I hope you have a fabulous week of opportunities, inspiration, and innovation. Have a great week. Namaste.